Can all the graduates stand up? Clap it up for your family. Clap it up for your friends. Clap it up for the staff here at Hyde Park. Because without them, you wouldn't be here this morning. Okay. Hold on, let me put this on my Instagram real quick. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Make some noise. First of all, I want to say this opportunity and moment, means a lot for me, and I'm forever grateful to share this moment with you all. I remember riding on the 28 bus down Stony Island Pass in Hyde Park as a kid daily, and to be here this morning is absolutely crazy to me. So I'm definitely blessed, and I'm appreciative of the staff for having me here. First, I want to start off with one of my favorite quotes. It says, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world." That is by Harriet Tubman. Now, you may see me here talking, or you might have heard me on the radio, or maybe see me on television, but, I do have a testimony. School was not my favorite thing growing up. Homework was a challenge for me. Tests were a challenge, and simple things like, reading comprehension were difficult to me. To this day, math isn't my thing, and Google is my best friend. I knew and realized my learning style was different when I was in elementary school, but I knew I was never, quote, stupid. And I knew what it took to be successful. But I thank God I had advocates in my life at my schools, like Miss Vasky, may she rest in peace, or Miss Taylor, who was once a teacher here at Hyde Park, and also Miss Hatcher, Miss Mooney, Mr. Sampson. When I think about it now, I feel like God places people in your life for a reason. They were so hard on me, but as I'm older, those same teachers who got on my nerves back then are the ones who were supportive of me the most. You gotta ask yourself, who are my advocates? I'm telling you, the ones who bugged you the most, who got on your nerves, are the ones who care about you. When I was younger, I had an IEP. Now, I'm pretty sure, the staff here know what an IEP is. I think today it's called like a diverse learner. Well, if you're not familiar with one, it's an individualized educational plan. It's also a plan or program developed to ensure that a child who has a disability identified under the law and is attending an elementary or secondary educational institution receives specialized instructions and related services. Now, in my mind as a child, the whole time I thought I was dumb. I had to take my tests in different rooms. I would be pulled out the classroom. I remember a time I was so embarrassed, I literally put my head down on the table and acted sick because I didn't want my classmates to see me go anywhere else. Now, if you remember, I asked, who are your advocates? Not only were my parents mine, not only were my teachers mine, but so is my mom and dad who are here with me today. They always snapped on me, but were my biggest supporters. And yes, I had an IEP, and yes, some people called me stupid, but my dad always pushed me. When I think about it, he just knew that I had to work just a little harder, and there's nothing wrong with that. And my mom was my shield and protection when things got rough for me. One of my another favorite quote of mine is, courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man who is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. That's by Nelson Mandela. Which brings me to my high school years at King College Prep. I was really excited to go to King. I knew a lot of people. I felt like it was a new journey and a time to excel. I didn't have to wear a uniform. I could have fresh fits. I could meet new girls from all around the city. I knew it was going to be the time of my life, and it was. Although my IEP transferred over to high school, I didn't want that to negatively impact my high school experience. And it didn't. I excelled in my social life, extracurricular activities. Low-key high school was lit. I was even on an honor roll. I couldn't believe in myself. I had a 3.0, and as I got older and the distractions were on the rise, I still remained focused. I was on this natural high, like I was unstoppable. And I knew I was going to go to any college I wanted to go to, and let's just say it didn't happen like that. Although my grades were good and I had a really low ACT score, it was so bad, my high school counselor told me that despite my desire to go directly to college, that was not the best option for me based on my score. She encouraged me to lower my expectations. Remember, when I told you about advocates, yeah, my parents gave me that push, but so did my sister, who is there for me when I needed a shoulder to lean on, and also is someone who sets me straight. And I know some of you may not have an advocate or parents who support you, but for those who don't, let me be the one to tell you God is your advocate. He will give you the strength to push to make it through, the love when you need it the most, the courage when nobody else is around. God is the force that will guide you when you want to give up. Between God and yourself, you have all the advocates you need. Everything else is just a bonus. Another favorite quote of mine is from Muhammad Ali. He says, "Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration. It's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing." As I'm here today, let me stress to you that life isn't easy. Just remember, a setback can always turn into a setup. Little old me, I was accepted to Xavier University, and I don't know what made me to apply to this school. I knew absolutely no one in New Orleans. I never even been to New Orleans. All I knew about the city was what happened to it during Hurricane Katrina, and of course, partying on Bourbon Street. Xavier was the only school that accepted me, so I went. XU was known for its sciences, and I had absolutely no clue what the communication program was about, but I followed my gut and I went. What I love the most about Xavier is they gave me a chance when no other school did. They didn't count me out. My freshman year, I took remedial math and reading classes, but what's comforting to me was it was other kids like myself who looked like me made those classes where I needed extra help more comforting. From then, I became homecoming king, and I got involved with other programs. Now, if you know me, I like to kick it, and I like to have a good time and socialize with people. So yeah, I did party in college, and I have some crazy stories to tell, but I always knew I was down there to handle my business. So I got an internship at the local radio station in New Orleans, which is kind of like WGCI here in Chicago. I excelled, I got hired in promotions, but I knew I wanted more. I knew I was capable of more. So I approached my boss and current mentor, and I told him I wanted to be on the radio. I took the necessary steps to get there and finally got the chance. Here I am at one of the top HBCUs in the country with a whole life degree. So of course, now it's time to find a full-time job, right? Well, one of my favorite quotes is, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I actually applied to work at WGCI 2 years prior, and I never even got a call back. Now that I think about it, I applied to like 20 jobs and nobody hit me back. I'll never forget, I was watching a show on BET called 106 in Park, and they were looking for a host. So I flew to New York on a buddy pass with $60. I get to the BET offices and then they were closed. At this point, I felt defeated, and I just knew having a college degree would guarantee me full-time work, but that wasn't the case. Honestly, I had to level up and work jobs I felt I was overqualified for, but of course the bills don't stop. I was living in another state all alone, so I had to do what I had to do, which was man up, put my pride aside, and provide for myself because I had to eat. 2 years passed, and honestly, I went into a dark place. I hated my career choice, and it was at the point where I wanted to move back home. But one of my favorite artists says it best, and I quote, "God will break you to position you. He will break you to promote you, and break you to put you in your right place." Just always believe he doesn't do it to hurt you. Now that I think about it, that's exactly what happened to me. Maybe I wasn't ready to work for GCI then, but it's always important to believe in yourself and continue to work towards your goal, because you will get more no's in life. And one day, someone will say yes, and you have to be ready. You stay prepared, you study your craft, study others in your field, believe in yourself first. You can't expect someone to believe in you if you don't even believe in yourself. So I finally got that yes when I reapplied to work at WGCI and I got the job. I then moved back home 3 months later, where I currently hold my position. And I do want to say this, and say it loud and clear. Even if you don't go to college, it doesn't mean you won't be successful. We all have different journeys. Some of the most successful people in the world never got a degree, but they had a plan and an unwavering drive. People like Jay-Z, Steve Jobs, and Oprah are just to name a few. They didn't use what they had back then or their environments growing up to hold them back. I've been at WGCI now for 3 years, but it's always important to never become content. I love my job and I've worked hard to get to it, but I know I want more than just being on the radio. I want to be an all-around media personality and community activist. It's okay to step out your comfort zone and go the extra mile. Remember, like I said, you will get more no's than yeses, which will happen for the rest of your life. So this past October, I sent an email to the news director at Fox, Matt Piasante. I told him my goals in an email. We met, and I've had several appearances on Fox Good Day Chicago. Also the same with Windy City Live. Huge shout out to Matt Knudsen. I will forever be grateful for them. Had I not stepped out my comfort zone and not sent that email, I probably would not have been on the shows. It's okay to be scared and nervous, but you have to believe in yourself and your vision first. I'm currently at a season in my life where I have gained so much and I have been blessed to be successful, but I have more to accomplish. Life is a journey and not a destination. You have to believe in yourself. So, to the Hyde Park class of 2018, if you didn't just hear anything I just said, please listen to this. This is my personal advice to you. Never let someone's negative opinion of you define you. And when I say no one, I mean no one. No friend, fool, foe on earth has the ability to determine who you are going to be. Believe in yourself, love yourself, and challenge yourself. Number 2, if you are the smartest of your friends, get new friends. I'm going to say it again. If you are the smartest of your friends, get new friends. Surround yourself with people that challenge you to be better and motivate you to succeed. Will be honest with you when you are wrong and will encourage you when you need a boost. If birds of a feather flock together, don't be that flock that flies off the cliff. Number 3, dream and then do. Don't be afraid to imagine the world being different and imagine yourself to be the one to change it. Then, wake up from that dream and follow it through. Live out your hopes no matter what comes your way, no regrets. Number 4, take the shot. Make sure your life isn't defined by the chances you don't take. Nothing gets accomplished without a risk. Be smart about it, but take that leap of faith and go all in. Think about how quickly life can change for the worse. Tragedy can happen in a split second, but success can happen in the same way. Be confident, be consistent, and most of all, be courageous to take that chance to change your life. And finally, this is very important, and pretty much the most important. We are all descendants of royalty. Not the kings of the block or our hoods, but I mean kingdom royalty. Our people have ruled nations, taken over portions of the world, and even built America. We stand on the shoulders of people that gave their lives so that we can openly move about this earth with dignity. Let us never forget where we come from, and let us remember that it is up to us to show the world what they fought for. Through our veins pumps the bloods of kings and queens, not N's and H words. Remember this and believe this, and congratulations to the class of 2018.